Welcome back, teachers, to Google Workshop number 1, where we're looking specifically at file naming conventions and folder management. One of the tricks with working in Google Drive is that we're not dealing with a traditional hierarchy of folders and files that will be common across a number of people. Where you create a file and store it might be very different to where it is stored for the person you've shared it with. So there's this idea that there'll be several limbs of a branch, and depending on your own file management system will dictate where that particular file sits in your tree of information. So naming files really deliberately so that it's not ambiguous to students and even other staff members is really important so that they can create their own mental map of their learning. And it means that when you're not physically with your students and you're not there to act as a guide, that they're getting clues and picking up clues all the time as to what it is that they're moving on to next. So the key really is to create a standard kind of naming convention that you might replicate across classes or that you might use through different areas of your responsibility or different departments you work in. So for example, numbering activities, 1 through however many for progression, including your course names and codes if you're a teacher who manages multiple year levels but deals in very similar themes. Maybe achievement standard, unit standard numbers, topic names, included as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to jump into my Level 2 Creative Industries Technology class. And the reason I use this class as an example is because the students pick their own individual learning pathways. They have a choice of 11 different projects in the course associated with 11 different unit standards, and they're all working potentially at different places or on different projects all at the same time. So for me, making sure that they are aware of the progression and where they head to next is really important. So if, for example, I dive into my Web Design Simple, where they learn how to create websites using authoring tools, we've got the unit standard number, we've got the title of the actual standard, and then we've got my course name in brackets. If we dive a little deeper, we can see that there's a standard approach to creating my subset of folders. There's the folder for the assessment, which the students never have access to. There is a folder of exemplars, and that might be for different elements or different parts of the task. There's an NZQA folder for links to the actual achievement standard statements, clarifications, etc. for my own understanding. And then there's a learning activities folder, and the students will have access to this. So if we jump in there, you can see that I've named the file with the topic. I've included a learning objective number so that they can actually see the progression and where they go to next. And there's a general heading as well as my O2CIT course name. So that's one standard approach, and as you can see, I employ the same approach across different different projects within the course. So topic name, the learning objective, and the learning that's involved. The students understand that if there's more than one learning objective 3, that obviously they'll be working with maybe 1 or 2 resources or more for that particular learning objective. That's one way that you can actually highlight for students where they're going to, how they get there, and what to do when they get there. Thanks very much for watching.